Stardom 101. Stardom 101. Stardom 101.
Stardom 101.
It's the Stardom 101 Magazine Podcast. Shining light on today's tastemakers
and innovators.
Keep it with your host, Christopher Boykin.
It's the Stardom 101 Magazine Podcast.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stardom 101 Podcast here on iHeartRadio, where we spotlight today's rising stars, entrepreneurs, creatives, and individual leaders all across the globe who are building extraordinary careers. Today's guest is an actor, producer, and entertainment entrepreneur, DeMarcus Bumpers. Originally from Houston, Texas, DeMarcus made the bold decision to leave behind a successful six-figure career in the oil and gas industry to pursue acting full-time in Los Angeles. Today, he's recognized as one of the top-performing independent African-American actors on Tubi, with projects reaching millions, and I do mean millions, of viewers. He's starring in an upcoming film, Paul Pride Trail, where he's not only the lead actor, but he's also the executive producer. He's also preparing for another major release that we're going to plug at the end of the year, and this release is called 330, and it's releasing at the end of this year. DeMarcus, welcome to the platform. Pleasure, my friend. Pleasure to have you here with me today. It's been a long overdue one, but you're here, man. How you feeling?
I am doing great.
Yes. So many questions. You give me so much to pull from. When people read your bio, DeMarcus, they see, multiple accomplishments. I just alluded to a couple. Literally, you have so many accolades, but how would you introduce yourself to someone who's never heard of DeMarcus Bumpers before? That way you can kind of let our audience, Stardom audience, know who you are. And as we kind of pass through the rest of the episode, you can kind of tell them, or we can get more in detail.
Well, I would say to them that I am just like every other actor. I am a hard worker trying to make a difference in the community, be a positive storyteller, and trying to put people on the road to getting in the business to tell stories. Don't do it for the fame and, the accolades. All that stuff will come. Do it because it's something that you enjoy doing. I think storytelling is very therapeutic. It's a way to really express yourself. And, by storytelling, you are actually being able to live the fantasies. You're being able to enact these things and bring these things to reality, because a lot of people don't get to do that. They see these things on TV,
exactly.
With TV shows and films, but they don't get to do it. So that's what, I want the fans to know me for. I want them to know me for the work. And, everything else will follow, accolades and everything else. It's about the work.
There you go.
It's about storytelling, and it's about impacting lives. And I'm first a voice for the voiceless.
Awesome segue, brother. One thing I really commend you about is that, and I always like to highlight this, some people can skip over it, but that career leap that you did, you had what many people would consider, a dream career, making six figures in oil and gas. What was happening internally that made you realize, hey, I have to bet on myself, basically, and pursue my acting career, pursue my dream? Because that's a major switch there. How was that, and what was that about?
So back in Texas, I worked in the oil field. And while working in the oil field, I started to get burnt out. And I felt like I was not being challenged enough. I didn't feel as fulfilled. And I felt that it was time for me to make a change, because I had friends and, certain family members for years that were telling me, hey, you need to be doing what really makes you happy. And one of my dearly departed friends that I went to Prairie View A&M University with, her name was Sandra Bland, the late Sandra Bland.
Wow.
Sandra Bland used to tell me that until you start doing what's best for you, you forever gonna be lost. And the moment you start doing what's going to impact your life for the better, that's when you start to live. So
Mm.
I listened to that, the things that Sandra Bland said. Don't do it because that's what your family wants you to do.
I see.
Do what makes you happy. You be that change. You be that impact. You
Mm.
get out here and make a difference. And that sort of stuck to me. So
Mhm.
I dived in. And what I did at first was I was doing TV commercials. I went up here in
Ah,
TV commercials.
okay.
And then we went into the pandemic where
Mhm.
studios were locked down. So while studios were locked down, I began to train. That's what I did. I
Mm.
spent my time training.
Wow.
And then when we got out of the pandemic in 2023, immediately I went to work doing movies. And since then, I have
Mhm.
not looked back. I've been consistently booking
Wow.
roles. Yeah.
Wow.
Appearing in over a
Nola.
dozen.
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm.
What kept you moving forward when like success wasn't guaranteed? I know you mentioned the pandemic. It was, life was so uncertain for everybody at that time. Everybody was just kind of scattered. Some people scattering. Some people were, not taking advantage of the extra additional time. But for you, when you were just kind of in the niches and you're really digging in, what kept you kind of motivated when success wasn't really guaranteed, especially during that time? That time period really changed a lot of lives.
Okay, so I have a true story for you. So
Okay.
in 2021, I was supposed to do this TV series. It
Mm.
was called Circlins. And I went to Santa Fe, New Mexico, for filming to get underway there. So while I was there, I, began training.
Hmm.
I was getting with a couple coaches and just getting myself ready for the role, only to find out I wasted the entire summer because the entire project got scrapped.
Wow.
And I ended up for the my summer stay because I had to pay for room and board, and
Of course.
I was staying at a really nice hotel. I
Okay.
ended up fronting the entire expense. I spent in excess of over $6,500.
My goodness.
So it was definitely a lesson learned, and
Yeah.
but the good news
Okay.
was they did end up later, compensating me, but it was a lengthy process, and I really had to put up a fight
Okay.
to, recoup my money. So I ultimately ended up recouping my money,
Uh,
but it definitely taught me, in the business, you got to watch how you do business. You really
ooh,
have to
that's
watch
good.
that.
That's
Mhm.
good. Yeah.
And lucky for me, the thing that really helped me was, see, I had a contract.
Hmm.
So I had to threaten, to take civil action in the
Hmm.
event that they did not compensate me, because there were certain things that they had to compensate me for, including going to rehearsals and so forth.
Ah, I
All
see.
of that was in my contract.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm. Wow. Your success on Tubi is definitely one to be studied. Fast forward to today, you're now recognized, like I said in the intro, as one of the top performing independent actors on Tubi, that platform, and others. What does that recognition personally mean to you when people know who you are? They recognize the name, they recognize the face.
What it means to me, because you know what? This is a true story. That was actually just talking to one of my friends the other day about that. His
Uh,
name's Jay. He's actually listening in now.
okay.
I have just kept my head down, kind of doing the work,
Mm.
not really paying attention to more so the accolades. In fact, it took my team and the directors and, a handful of other people to
Mhm.
start pointing out my success before I even took recognition to it. And then next thing you know, you start getting tagged and all
Uh,
this stuff. That's kind of how it happened. I really just kept my head down, just doing the work.
yeah.
I didn't even look at that. But I think when we all get into the business,
Okay.
we want that guarantee. We
Mm.
want that assurance,
Mhm.
that we are on the right track.
Mhm.
But I said, let me just keep my head down. Let me just do the work.
Mhm.
And, we fast forward the clock. I look up, okay, this is happening, that's
Wow.
happening. And because
Wow.
around this time a few years ago, the only thing I had under my belt was a string of commercials. That's all I had ever,
Wow. Look at
been
that,
involved
man.
in. And
Goodness.
life started to change because this is actually the anniversary right now. So
Mm.
around this time, 3 years ago, I filmed on Secret Killer. And see, Secret Killer was
Mhm.
the film that really put me on the forefront. It
I
put
see.
me on people's brains. When they
Mm.
seen Secret Killer, that put me on the map because I teamed up with this, Caucasian older
Mm.
gentleman. He's
Mhm.
a veteran that's been in the industry for over 20 years. So
Mm.
teaming up with him on a mystery thriller,
Mhm.
that kind of changed the trajectory of my career.
I
That's what
see.
ended up happening.
That's what ended up happening. Independent
Mhm.
film, has exploded over the past few years, of course. Seems like the last 5, 6 years is just like a thrust. Where do you see platforms like Tubi fitting into the future of entertainment, and kind of creating opportunities for actors at all kinds of level? Do you see this as just the beginning and it's more to come in this digital age?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely. So, because looking back, more than a few years ago,
mm-hmm.
nobody was thinking about Tubi. So it was a lot of the Detroit actors that
Ah,
really introduced this Tubi thing. It was Detroit actors
I see.
and Dennis Reed and them. And, I have a cousin that's, he's also a Tubi actor, Denzel Dandridge, because, I'm
Mm-hmm.
related to Dorothy Dandridge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Dandridge and all them, they were the ones that really got this whole thing going with Tubi
Mm.
and so forth. They got it going, and I sort of just slid right in there, not even knowing what I was diving into, because blacks were not really as heavy on the scene with these Tubi films.
I see.
It's really just in the handful of years,
Mm.
people have really just started paying attention to that. They started attracting an audience.
Absolutely.
They built up a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
There were some independent films, I think back in the late 2010s that had
Mm-hmm.
gotten filmed in Detroit. So I,
Mm.
I know Detroit is Detroit is
That's
the
the hub.
hub
Yeah, there you go. It's the
yeah,
hub.
of Tubi. Like they
That's
got it
right.
started. And then from there, I went on to learn that, Tubi is owned by Fox. I
Yeah, ain't that
later
something? I
yeah.
found that out too. I'm like, wow, that tells you
Mhm.
how big and marketable that
Yeah,
platform has become.
recently and I think that Fox, they were very strategic in that.
Hmm.
So they knew that they could capitalize off of, black stories being told.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what ultimately ended up happening, a lot of the main ones, because, it's that main group that names, who keep coming up,
Oh yeah.
everybody over time has just started to get used to them. And they're still warming up to me. But,
Uh,
I have a string of projects coming out,
mm-hmm.
and I'm looking forward to the fans seeing that and really seeing another side of me now. I'm really excited about that.
Nice. Speaking of projects, perfect segue. Paul Pry Trial. I want to talk about
Uh-huh.
this project. Sounds like one of your biggest projects. Yes, of course. What drew you to this role in this particular film that you starred in?
Okay, so Paul Pride Trail, I had to go through a lot of changes,
Mhm.
including physical, because for Paul Pride Trail, I had to gain 50 pounds for that role.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow. Okay. Okay. Do
I gained,
tell.
I gained 50 pounds.
Okay.
So, in Paul Pry, I play a depressed, suicidal, grief-stricken alcoholic
Mm.
who's grieving the loss of his work partner. Because was a detective in the previous Paul Pry film.
Mhm.
And, I'm gun hung on seeking revenge, but, I spend my days just in the hotel drinking and depressed.
Mm.
So I get wind that, Paul Pry is on the loose again. So
Mhm.
I have vengeance on the brain. So I go out to try to capture Paul Pry. When I kill in the movie,
Mhm.
the fans are sort of in for a treat because something in this film
Uh-huh.
happens to me at the end, and it's going to leave a lot of people and watch a
okay.
different side of me. And see, I didn't have a body double for it, so
Whoa.
I performed the stunts on my own, and a handful of clips have already been uploaded online before the release of the trailer, and Paul Price already viral.
My goodness.
And I actually just found out from the studio
Mm-hmm.
that Paul Pry could be releasing as early as next week or the week after instead of waiting all the way to release in September. And I think it's already due to the, foot traffic with it going viral and everything.
I see. Wow, that's amazing. And looking ahead, also, speaking of other projects, you're not slowing down, of course. We talked about this earlier, but you also have 3:30. That's coming later on, I believe, the end of this year. Can you give us a little teaser about what we should expect from that project as well?
Yes. Okay. So 3:30, my friend Jay, he actually had a chance to view that one as well before fans get to see it. So 3:30, I play a real estate agent. And the young lady, she is investor. So she had some shady dealings with homes that she sold to people. So there was defective wiring. So she is the compromise of her own demise because ultimately what ends up happening, she crossed the wrong person of all of the bad deals that she did, and now somebody wants her dead. So they hire somebody to assassinate her. And see, myself along with the buyers of the home that she's selling, we're all caught in the crossfire. So at 3:30, everyone in the house dies, but it keeps looping back around.
What?
And you have to figure out who the killer is.
Oh, man, that sounds good already. That's good, D. That's good. Like, it makes you think. Like, wait a minute. Okay, this you got to stay tuned with it. Wow,
Yeah.
and that potentially could be that's later this year. No set release time month, but be on the lookout for that.
So that one is actually set to release right before Thanksgiving. They
Nice.
have already slated it for November.
Fantastic.
Reveal, it'll be on Reveal TV, and it will be on the Roku channels along with Paul Pry, because I actually just found out the Roku channel did pick up Paul Pry, so Paul Pry will run on Roku.
On Roku as well. Okay.
Yeah, right after it's released on Reveal.
Nice, fantastic. Well, legacy. I like to also plug this about you. I love this where you're going with this. One thing that caught my attention is, of course, we share that you have connections in the entertainment industry with legends like Dorothy Dandridge, Beyonce. Right? We didn't say that, but
Yeah.
you also have made it clear your focus on building your own legacy. Very important. What does creating your own name, your own legacy, your own image, your own brand mean to you?
So creating it's just through a body of work. I'm continuing to put out work out there where I am telling stories, and I'm building something lasting that people can remember me for. That's what it is. And I have been able to navigate, or I'm one of the despite being a legacy in Hollywood, coming from a long line of family of entertainers, I have created my legacy by putting in the groundwork and learning everything from the ground floor and not looking for handouts. That's what's important. I want to be remembered for that.
For that. Wow.
Yeah. And I didn't take shortcuts to just rise to the top. I actually put the work in, went to the auditions, took the classes, did everything that was needed in order to acclimate myself to, ultimately being a star.
Yes, that's fantastic. Speaking of putting the work in, there's some viral news circulating and some things going on about you, good sir. Some recent developments. I think that this audience definitely would like to know. Can you tell us about the recent success that's been going on and circulating on social media as of yet?
Yeah. So they've and been buzzing about the Sim Awards. So right now I'm set to receive a honorary award in October at the Sims in Atlanta, Georgia. And I just found out that I may very well be nominated for several other awards at the December Awards, but I don't know yet. But it's been a lot of folks that have been buzzing about it, that I very well could be nominated for several awards with the Sims. And
Wow.
then there are several other awards, like one in Hollywood, the HAPAs and so forth. I very well could be nominated, but it's too soon to tell.
Sure.
They're saying that the odds are in my favor. It could definitely sway that way.
Look, this the nominations and the people to mention your names and doors you're not even from. Man, listen, that's a beautiful thing, brother. That's the
Yeah.
work speaking.
And this early in my career, because
Yeah.
usually folks don't. I mean, usually folks don't see these honors until much later in their career.
Absolutely.
So to be getting that acknowledgement after only being in film for like the last 3 years,
My goodness.
it's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You're on the rise, brother. You're fitting for this episode, Rising Stars, man. I can
Because
see it.
because I know everyone else that's so far that has been in the business.
Mhm.
A lot of them have been in the business for 15 years, 20 years.
Wow.
They are, they are probably a decade into the business, if not more. So, me being able to be a few years in and I'm already here is,
Yes.
it's like you're reaching the top leading up to the move over to mainstream. Because now my next move would be mainstream.
Will be mainstream. Wow, man.
Mhm.
You ever think
Mainstream
about
TV film.
like Emmy, Oscars, Golden Gloves? Are any of those in your?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me
So
about
the
that.
plan is
Mhm.
plan is for me to be the first African American male from Houston, Texas, to take Emmy, Golden Globe, and an Academy Award for acting. Yeah.
Whoa.
So years earlier, my family, Michael Harry O'Harris, the founder for Death Row, he cast Denzel in a Broadway play called Checkmate, and then a year and a half later, he was cast in the movie Glory, which got him the Academy for Best Supporting Actor. So with him doing Glory, that positioned him to take on Glory. And see, when Denzel did Glory, that changed the trajectory of his career. But see, when my family put Denzel in that Broadway play, that made my family the first African American to finance, direct, cast, and produce a Broadway play in the state of New York. And
Oh my
see,
goodness.
Paul Whitfield and Ruby Dee were cast in that Broadway play. And then fast forward 3 years after that Broadway play, my family turned around, came back, and they did this next Broadway play, which is called Stepping Into Tomorrow. And that was featuring Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X daughters. Their daughters were both cast in that Broadway play, Stepping Into Tomorrow.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. Look at so much history, brother. Did you ever have a favorite actor or a favorite like growing up that you kind of admired and pulled for or was inspired by?
Yeah, Denzel Washington, of course.
Mhm.
Denzel Washington, Samuel Jackson, Morgan Freeman, Leonardo DiCaprio. Those were the individuals that I grew up really paying attention to. Like, they are phenomenal actors. And like Robert De Niro, Sean Penn. Yeah, those are some veterans in the game, and they have a lot of skin in the game. And I love that about them.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of young and inspiring actors and actresses in on the Stardom brand and the platform. What's one piece of advice you would give them or the younger generation coming behind you that you can inspire and motivate them, or tell them simply what to look out for or what to prepare for, especially in the entertainment business that can be lucrative, but also a scary business if you're not doing the right things with the right people?
So I would first say, do not be willing to sell your soul to the devil just to get ahead in the business. Also, make sure that you have yourself a damn good lawyer, a lawyer that can protect your best interest. And also, I say the same thing for having, a good manager. But most importantly, that lawyer, needs to really be able to protect your best interest with those contracts. Anything that you do, get a contract in place. Have that in writing. I know I do.
Yes.
And If there's nothing in writing to, substantiate that, I have no dealings with it. And it have to clear through my family. If they're not okay with it, I'm not touching it.
Wow.
Yeah. And it have to, and now it have to be, with the stuff that I do, it has to be elevating me and moving the needle in my career, pushing me to the next step. My thing is to not be a typecast actor where I'm just stuck in a bubble. I'm very well, diverse. Like I can go into a wide range of roles. I have a lot of flexibility, but I say to the youngsters, don't compromise your soul to get ahead, because it's a lot of individuals in the industry. They believe by sleeping their way in and doing God knows what.
Of
They
course.
think that's, what
the
will
entry
get you.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll get you in the game and it'll keep you in the game. But in reality, it's hurting you. It's limiting you. And, the industry is small. Everyone talks. So you need to be mindful of that.
I see. That's a perfect piece of advice. For directors and producers and people who want to work with you, DeMarcus, what's the best way for them to contact you, reach you on a platform for potential bookings, pay the gigs, consulting, acting? I mean, all kinds of stuff. What is the best way for our audience to do business with you?
Yeah. So they can reach me via email, DeMarcus_Bumpers@yahoo.com. Or they can, go through my manager in terms of for the bookings and everything. And you can also send me a message on Instagram as well. That's another way. And then my team, of course, would have to review it, and then we go from there. And then, depending on how those contracts are looking, I think that would determine if I'm appearing or not, because my lawyers and them would need to, of course, take a look at it. And we need to see how that looks for my career, what that looks like, and if it works with my brand.
That's right. That's perfect. Selective. I like that, dude. That's great advice.
Have to be. Yeah, you can't, you can't just do stuff just because it's a paycheck involved. You have to be mindful of what you're putting your stamp on, because, in this business, all money is not good money.
Yes.
And don't compromise your soul and your integrity just for the sake of making a quick buck and trying to be famous. I think that is absolutely, it's god awful, it's dreadful, and it's treason to have, that mindset that's, hey, I'm gonna reach the top regardless. That's not good thinking. You need to have integrity, character, stand on business, and be built. Have a solid foundation. That's what I say.
Solid foundation. My goodness. The village you the people you deal with, I know that's important too, the environments you be in. Do you be out and about and get the invites to, hey, you want to come to all the Hollywood parties and all that good stuff?
Sure. Yeah, but
Do you
see, so
decline those? How's that work, brother?
so for me, it depends on the event. But me, I'm more of a homebody nowadays. So I like to just go film, do the work, and relax. I'm not really big on the party scene and
I
so
see.
forth. I'd rather be focused on the business. Now, if it's networking, and I feel that that's, beneficial to my career for networking, yeah, I'm all ears, and I will attend. But I kind of like to stay out of the way. I'm not there to party and all that. That's not why my family have me in Hollywood. They have me in Hollywood to be focused on growing my brand, telling stories, and just making my money and going on home. I'm not interested in clout chasing. I'm not interested in all of the, formatics or none of that. And I know that the business is smoke and mirrors. They can build you up, and just as you, or even as a Black actor, you can be all the way up, and then you have somebody, once you reach a certain level, certain status, certain prestige, they're ready to tear you
Tear
down.
you right on down. Yep.
Yeah, so I kind of just stay away from all of that. I'm not interested.
There you go. Well, DeMarcus, thank you so much, brother, for joining us today on the Stardom101 Podcast, On the Rise episode starring you. I'm wishing you well success, brother, in these films that you got coming up. Your brand is obviously evolving. you involving as an actor as well in the industry. Paul Pride Trial, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you stay tuned and tap into that. 3:30, of course, we plug those projects and everything that DeMarcus that you're doing, man. We absolutely proud of you. We love what you're doing. Great role model, man. I mean, absolute great role model. Perfect segue for this episode. Thank you, brother.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Once again, Stardom Magazine, we see you guys next week, same place with another episode just like this. You be good, and God bless you. Peace.
Are you on the rise to stardom? Well, get featured in the next issue of Stardom101 Magazine and promote your business or products today. Text MAG to 804-550-8647 or visit stardom101mag.net.
You're listening to the Stardom 101 Magazine Podcast with Christopher Boykin. Be sure to subscribe and download this episode, and continue to listen to Stardom on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.